Yo, what up, what up, what up, what up? What up, Facebook? What up, LinkedIn? What up, YouTube? Episode 18 of the Black Box Podcast, where I interview Sacramento area entrepreneurs, business people, Sacramento people that I love, people that are friends of mine, people that I really care about, people that are just grinding and hustling and doing great work in the Sacramento area. I'm really excited to interview my homie, Alfonso Martinez. What's up, Alfonso? How you doing,
Hey,
bro?
what's up, man? Thank you so much for having me here. It's a pleasure.
Of course, man. It's a beautiful day. It's with Tuesday. I'm excited to hustle. I'm excited to grind. I already got my appointments in the morning. Alfonso, what's going on, brother? How you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Every day I'm just so grateful. One of the things I do every day is just say a little bit of gratitude.
Love it.
Good things. So
love it, brother. Brother, like gratitude, being grateful, manifesting, practicing. Whether you're religious or whether you're spiritual or whether you believe in a higher power, brother, obviously, like you just said, that's something that's super, super important, super powerful. How does that manifest in your business life, in your personal life? What is that like? What is that relationship like for you?
Well, I think as business owner, man, like you were always dealing with like the ups and downs.
Of course.
Business, everybody has them. But I think that having the moment of gratitude and
100%.
Thinking about the things that are actually important, like your health,
Sure.
family, always having that present and, being grateful for that is, it gives you the perspective, like, what, I may have this problem here with my business. It might not be going as great as I want it to be, but guess what? We're all healthy, families with us. So
of course.
Yeah.
I love that, brother. Same thing with me when I'm driving to an appointment, when I wake up, man, when I listen to music. I mean, it's just important, so important to not forget where you come from, not forget the things and the trials and tribulations that you face to get to where you are. So I 100% agree, brother. Episode 18, guys, of the Black Box Podcast. I'm really excited to interview Alfonso, the CEO and owner of the Color Bar Salon here in Sacramento. Check out their social media page, _the Color Bar. Just great following, just great products, and just a really, really, really cool brand, brother. Alfonso, to start off the podcast, brother, I obviously, we've worked together before. I've served with you on the Sacramento State Latino Alumni Board chapter. Shout out to them. Shout out to Sac State. Brother, has entrepreneurship always been something in your life? Like, did you grow up with the family business? Were you in there? Like, what was that like for you?
You know what, man? It's definitely part of my family, entrepreneurship. I have family members that own businesses in Mexico.
Okay.
So even though I didn't grow up seeing that or being part of that, in Mexico.
Yes.
I feel like it's actually in part of my blood, man. Like I've always knew growing up, I always knew that I was going to own a business.
Sure.
I just never thought, one day it was going to be a hair salon,
Yeah.
And I tell this to everyone. I never thought it was going to be a hair salon, but I always knew I was going to end up owning a business.
Sure.
So, when I was younger, it was like middle school.
Sure.
I, started working on my own. Like I would go around town asking people, "Hey, can I rake your leaves for a few dollars?" Right, just so I can start generating some income.
Of course.
So yeah, business is part of me, and since the early beginning.
I love it, brother. So, you grow up, you immigrate from Michoacan, correct?
Yeah. Morelia. So I was born in Morelia, Michoacan.
Morelia.
I was actually born there. I went to school there, like kindergarten and first grade. And then when I was around 7 years old, my mom decided, she decided to move to the States, to California.
Totally.
She brought me and my siblings over to California. And I think at that point, man, it's like, obviously Mexico is all I know. So I didn't even want to move. I didn't want to in the US. I didn't want to grow up here. So I didn't even want to learn the English language. So I was so resistant, even for a few years. I was so resistant to learning English. So I will only, have Spanish-speaking friends. But then, obviously, I got over that, and I started being more grateful for being here in the U.S. Maturing in my mind and say, like, what, actually, out here we can have a better life than we did in Mexico. So
100%, brother. So you guys moved from Morelia, Mexico, and then where'd you guys settle?
We went to Newman, California.
Okay.
Newman. It's a super small town.
Familiar.
Off of I-5, Newman, California. And I pretty much grew up there since, till I graduated.
Okay.
I graduated high school out there.
Love it. Awesome. So you get to high school, you know, you're around the neighborhood, you're asking people for some money to rake their leaves. Was that something, how'd you figure that out? Was that something that was like your parents like gave you an idea, or you saw somebody like doing it, or you like, what was that like? How'd
It's
you
actually one of my friends. I can't remember exactly how we started doing it, but it was me and one of my other friends. Shout out
Sure.
to Robert Ramirez. We were just one day thinking about, how can we make some money for the summer? Because obviously, like, I have a single, I come from a single parent.
Sure.
But even him, like, we were talking about how to generate some income, to pay for whatever we wanted to, buy ourselves, because, we didn't have the luxury of having the extra money to buy things that we actually, wanted.
Yeah.
So I don't remember exactly how it happened, but we just had a conversation and we're like, hey, how about we just go around town asking people if we could rake the leaves on the front yard, and
Love it. Yeah.
getting some, a few dollars.
Yeah.
And that's how it started. So we did that for a couple of falls.
Sure.
And then I think when I was around 14 or 15, that's when I started working like in the fields.
Okay.
So I worked as soon as I could,
Sure. Totally. That's
that
awesome.
it was more of, even though I enjoyed it. I truly, it was so fun for me to work at that age. But
did you enjoy the financial aspect of it, of like you making a sale? Did you just enjoy the grind of it? Like,
I enjoyed the grind and making my own money.
Love it. That's awesome.
As opposed to like, asking my mom if I can have a few dollars.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed going out to work and receiving that paycheck.
That's awesome.
That's what I truly enjoyed. So I did it as early as I could. And so, I mean, I started with asking neighbors if I could rake their leaves. And then 14, 15, I started working in the fields. And then after that, I started working like a Burger King, which became, my first real official job.
Wow.
In high school.
Nice, brother. So what did you do with your money like at that time? You're raking leaves. You're working in the fields. Shout out to the fields, man. I did that one summer, man. Shout out to all the Latino people that do that. That's incredible. I did this on Dia. That was fresh. So you raking leaves, go to the fields. You're at BK. What are you doing with your money at such a young age?
It's super interesting because I think, I mean, what I did with the money is mainly buy things like I wanted, which it was mainly clothes, to be honest.
Sure.
I was never a spender on like, I didn't have to have like, the latest shoes or anything like that. I think it was more getting some decent shoes. Because the only thing that my mom can afford is like shoes from Payless.
Sure.
I think at that point it was like $20. It wasn't but maybe I was going maybe like for something that's more like $30, still.
I get you, brother.
Well, I was never even like fancy stuff, which at that point for me, fancy was Nike.
Sure.
Nike was fancy for me at that point because we knew we couldn't afford it. So, but I know like, even some of that money, actually, I gave it to my mom.
Okay.
I gave that to my mom so that she can pay the bills. So
sure.
That's something I won't forget.
That's powerful, brother. She coming from a single mom, she's taking care of you and your siblings, man, and giving her some money. I bet you that felt pretty good, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, when you see your mom struggling and
you're
worried about how she's going to pay the rent, and then
100%.
You hear have like a few $100s in the closet, you're like, you know what? Let me just get those few $100s and give them to my mom.
Sure. That's real. And there's so many stories like that out there in the world, with African American people, Latino people, Caucasian, Asian people. Like there's just, it comes all in different forms, right? So many different stories, so many different, stories like this where you're the kid, you're the grown man, you're the man of the house, and you got to help your mom, you got to help your dad out. So shout out to you, bro. That's incredible stuff, especially being an immigrant, man. Like that's shout out to you, brother.
It's the real deal.
It's a good feeling, 100%. Alfonso, as you were going through high school, brother, did you were working at BK, did entrepreneurship become like a little bit more like, okay, this is something I really, really want to pursue when I go to college and then after college? Like, what was that like for you?
Yeah, like I said, like I was trying to remember like the first time I actually thought I'm gonna own a business, because honestly, I've always known like I'm gonna own a business. I just never really thought about what. I think as I was getting older and I thought, oh yeah, it's gonna be related to my major.
Sure. Yeah, totally, of course.
But then, I always knew it was gonna be a business. And I'm sorry, what was the question again?
No, totally. At what point you're like, high school, college,
Oh, yeah.
even college too, like entrepreneurship, like when were you like, okay, this is it. Like, this is what I'm going to go do. Like, I'm all in on this. I don't know what business I'm going to start. I don't know where I'm going to land,
Yeah.
but I know that I'm going to create something for myself. At what point in that span where you're like, okay, this is it. I'm going in for this.
Well, I think as you're getting older and you have like the entrepreneur like desire, that fire within you, like you
Sure.
think like there's not necessarily one thing that's gonna think, oh yeah, this is gonna be like my money maker, right? I think I
Totally.
always knew I was gonna try like different things.
Of
I'm
course.
more like, I have an idea, I need to execute it.
I get you.
But I think over time I realized like, yeah, those ideas, they're only a stepping stone of what's gonna be bigger and bigger and bigger.
100%.
So I think going to college, I got into my major is engineering, computer engineering. So as I started actually learning software, I started developing my own websites.
Sure.
Right away, I was like, I can make a business out of this.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, and I actually started offering web services to small business owners and other people that I was getting referrals.
Sure.
From businesses. So I started developing websites for small businesses, and that was another business that I created when I was in college, right? And I started generating income for that.
Of course.
So I created my own, my own brands and my own business cards. Started passing that. I think it was like a sophomore or a junior at that time.
That's awesome. And what did that experience? What did that teach you about business? What did that teach you about? Obviously you had already learned some stuff back when you were younger, but now you're a little bit more evolved. Your mind's a little bit, broader. You're a little bit more mature, right? What did those instances in college teach you about running a business or marketing a business or working with people? What was that like for you?
You know what, man? I mean, at that point, I think even people were still getting so used to like the internet, man. I don't want to.
Yeah, sure.
I think a lot of businesses back then, they were still like so resistant to even having a website.
Of course.
I think even then, like the access that I had to like knowledge was still like, I would still get most of my knowledge from the books as opposed to online or YouTube or whatnot. So it actually taught me like it really requires true dedication and like a lot of hours of reading and doing research of like a subject that you want to learn.
Totally.
So it required like, give me the clear picture. To me, it's a clear picture, man. If I really want to be good at something, I need to like spend, like they say, like 1,000 or 10,000 hours on a certain subject. That's really what I did. And I didn't question it. I just did it.
100%.
So I'm just grateful for that.
Yeah, totally. I think, right now I'm in an instance where I'm learning so much about real estate investing because I want to buy a fourplex, and I'm just like consumed in YouTube and Clubhouse, and like I have the capital for it now. Like I'm really excited to go for it. Now it's just all about executing, right? So with you in the learning process and just like, getting all this knowledge in, fast forward to the color bar now, the owner, I'm talking episode 18, guys, BLKBOX Podcast. If you're watching, we're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, we're live on LinkedIn. I'm excited to grind. I'm excited to talk to Alfonso. We're about 15 minutes into our conversation. Alfonso, out of all, fast forward, color bar, managing a team, what has that experience like from what you've learned back when you were younger? What have you applied from what you learned to now being the CEO of Color Bar and owning, this business for a pretty good amount of time here in Sacramento?
Yeah. Good things require time.
Sure.
That's what it has taught me. So I think as, sometimes we want things like the results to happen overnight.
Of course.
But I think one thing that I have learned over the years is that good things really require time.
100%.
Not just that, man, but I think probably one of the biggest things that I'm so comfortable with is like failing or losing on small like little things so that we can big on a bigger scale.
Sure.
So being okay with a failure as long as that we learn from it.
Totally, of course, and as let's unpack that statement a little bit. For a lot of businesses, a lot of small business owners, in the last couple of years, it's been really difficult, right? There's been so many regulations, there's been just like this thing, right? That just like this kind of anger, this kind of sadness. How was it like, Alfonso, running a business knowing that you aren't going to see people in person? How was that like? Obviously, you guys have had some success in it, which is incredible. For a lot of businesses, man, they failed, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But what has that experience been like in expanding your business now?
Yeah. It's been very challenging, man. Like I can tell you, I still remember clearly like how it was around mid-March of 2020 where I was having a conversation with Lorena. I was like, man, are we really going to close the salon?
Yeah,
because
man.
I think it's, as a business owner, you're like, no, this is not going to happen. We're not, you're resistant, right?
Sure.
So it was very difficult accepting the fact that we had to close.
Sure.
But then as we start seeing more on the news of like, man, this is actually, it's real deal. It's happening.
Yeah.
There's no way. I mean, we want to do the right thing for the health of everyone. So we ended up deciding, you know what, we are going to close.
Sure.
And I mean, what we thought like was going to be around 15 to 30 days.
Yeah, it turned out to be months.
Turned out to be like 6 months for us in 2020.
Sure.
You know, it was a huge hit for us in our business.
Sure. Alfonso, I don't mean to cut you off. Was that more, was it more, besides the business aspect of it, did you take out a little personally? Like, dude, I've worked so fucking hard to build this, so hard to build this with my brand. I have employees that I'm taking care of.
Yeah.
I have the people that come in and we give them a service that we see them all the time. Like, what was that? Like, were you more impacted personally or business
I think it was, for me, I think it was more for the team, because I think that we are responsible for the team. And I'm thinking about, man, like if we close our doors, how are people going to pay our bills?
Of course.
So I'm thinking, I mean, I know like for no matter what, Lorena and I will be like taken care of, but I'm thinking more of the team, like how it's going to impact them and, being responsible for that. So
100%.
I mean, that's how we make our decisions,
totally
about the team.
Of course. And one big thing about me, I'm a solopreneur, right? My entity is under sole proprietorship. Obviously, you have like, I'm assuming an LLC or some sort of corporation, right? Now you're involved. It's not about you and Lorena anymore and your kids. It's about, hey, man, we have people that are working for us, working with us that we care about, that are part of our family. So I'm sure that's like, obviously I can't attest to that, but for another business owner that has multiple employees, I mean, that just has to be like shattering for you personally and just for just mental, right? Because you're paying these people to help you grow your brand or grow your business, and they become a part of your family. They become people that you see every day. You work with them, you grind with them, you have team meetings with them. And yeah, man, that's just an incredible feeling, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was very, I mean, you feel hopeless, and I think what happened last year is that a lot of businesses try to fight like what was happening. And, for me, thinking about, okay, what's the best way for us to take care of the team, right? We knew we had to close our doors because we didn't want to break any,
of course,
any mandates from like the city or anything like that. So that wasn't an option. But a lot of decisions we think about the team.
Of course.
So my initial thought is, and I think this is more of the entrepreneur side, is like, dude, if we can't figure out this way, what's another way that we can figure it out?
Of course.
Right? So we're not going to provide services. It's already decided. No matter what, we can cry about it. We can do whatever we want, but we're not going to provide services.
Yeah. Now it's time to now the real entrepreneurs come out. Like now, okay, like I built this business, I got this going. All right, unfortunately, I can't do this service, but what can I do to provide the community more value? And what did you do?
Yeah, and I think it's through adversity where we actually get to figure out what's really within us. And
yeah, that's true.
The adversity that we went through last year. So we started selling product online. That's the avenue that we knew. Okay, if anything we can do is just sell the product that we offer our customers online. We started also by just reaching out to our customers. I mean, it's amazing how our customers actually reached out to us and say, hey, how can I help you?
That's awesome.
Right. So, I mean, people purchase gift cards, they purchase product from us. And once we saw the potential of the online business, we said, this is it. Right.
Sure.
So we started focusing on our online business and sell product online.
That's amazing, brother. And, so as you were focusing and transitioning over to online, did you hire an expert to do that for you? Were you guys doing it yourself? Like, how did you know what products to work with? What was that like?
Yeah. So for the products, we've been selling the products that we always carry, which is Dab and S.
Sure.
We're Dab and S exclusive. So that's the only thing that we're currently selling through the salon right now.
Okay.
But as far as like the like for the website and stuff, man, that's luckily I have that background in
so sick.
engineering and software, and I think that's also where like the timing and preparation, it's like where preparation meets timing.
Of course.
Man, I have this background in like website development, and now it's the time where I need it the most.
Yeah.
Like, that's where we took advantage of it, and with the knowledge that I've had over the years.
Okay.
Development. So we focused on our website and the online sales. We started advertising, and I mean, for us, like we've never pushed our online sales for products prior to the pandemic. But after that, I mean, we were lucky that we generated like over 100,000 in 4 months, which
that's incredible.
For us was like, damn, that's for us that we've never really focused on online sales. Like, damn, that's awesome.
And that's awesome because now you just now that things are a little bit more, I guess, normal, you would say, like now you have the online business and now you have in person. So like you took a big, maybe you took that small gap where you survived, but now you could really hopefully thrive here in the next couple of years. And just, you could open up another location, you could expand to a different city. I mean, there's just so many different ways to do it. And that's the cool thing about businesses now that have adapted and have created a different revenue stream is like they've become more, it's kind of forced business people to become more innovative, right? To get outside of like, man, that's why I started Black Box, to go to people, right? Where I'm not focusing on having a gym, right? I could still provide a good experience in their garage, and I don't have to deal with a lot of people, right? And with you guys, now you have an online, now you have in person, and now you can really crush it. Obviously, like that's like in the perfect world, right? But like I'm glad that that's happened for you and your business. Like that's amazing, man.
Yeah, and it was because of the decision, right? Because of the decision that you said, you know what, we're gonna figure this out. We're not gonna try it because, I mean, we were resistant for a very little bit,
Totally
resistant to the change of like, man, we have to close our doors and all that. But then after that, we like start being resistant and then start adapting. And I think adapting is where the key is to success, right?
Of course. And that, like you said, adversity and adaptation, I think that's when really entrepreneurship people, like the personality, like, man, like obviously you know how to make money, you know how to sell a product, you know how to provide a service. Something hits you and you're like, man, I don't know how to deal with this, right? It takes some learning, it takes some knowledge, and it just takes some patience. And then hopefully you can go out and implement something creative. Because in entrepreneurship, you need some creativity, right? Like if in order for you to continue doing your business, you're going to need some sort of adaptation. Would you agree with that?
Yes, definitely. 100%.
100%, brother. So, you have an online stream, you have an in-person stream. How are you navigating? How are you and your business and salon businesses in general? How are you guys navigating the in-person, keeping people safe? Making sure they still have a really good experience. Like, how has that been like for you guys?
Yeah, so we've always been following the CDC rules, and I mean, here as a hair salon, we have to follow the guidelines of like the state board.
Of course,
they gave us very clear instructions on how we're supposed to protect our customers and our team. So what we do here at the salon, I mean, everybody. We've been a salon where since the pandemic, since it all started, we've always required masks.
Sure.
So we've never said, I mean, even coming back, we still said you still need a mask, right?
Totally.
So we followed that, but we used to serve our customers water and wine during the service. We stopped doing that for some time. We still haven't brought it back, but maybe in the future we will. Everybody keeps their distance, everybody sanitizes, and we make sure that everybody's healthy. We ask a series of questions when people come in. But
that's awesome.
For the most part, I mean, we're very open with our team and tell them like, hey, if for any reason you guys feel sick, please take care of yourself. Your priority. Take your health. Take care of yourself because that's priority. And then, of course, by taking care of yourself, you're taking care of everybody around you. So
100%. That's incredible, brother. Alfonso, as we get older, brother, and as we get more business knowledge, we get more business experience. What are some things that you've taken like in the last couple of years, or maybe even now, maybe where you want the color bar to go in the future? Like, what are some things that you're implementing or you're trying, or maybe you're learning about business that you didn't know a couple of years back?
Well, I think that's never ending, man. I think
Of course,
you
bro.
know, learning and trying, but I think right now where we're maximizing, man, it's the online business.
Sure.
Because I can tell you, like, it's a limited potential.
100%.
You know, it really is, and just the way we've grown. I mean, we're growing so fast. I mean, even now, like for us to we actually have an office right across the street from the salon.
Sure.
The proximity of that, it's amazing because you know
Totally.
the team can just walk back and forth between locations.
So much opportunity.
Even now, even thinking about the online business, I mean, now we have like a team of 5 in the marketing business.
Sure.
And I mean, it's not very common what we're doing, man. For us,
Totally.
a hair salon is not very common. Like if you tell somebody that you have a team of 5 marketing people only dedicated for a hair salon,
rare.
It's very, very rare. You really don't hear that. So
sure.
But it kind of tells you where I'm putting my focus right now, which is online presence.
That's awesome.
And you know, just taking advantage of. I mean, we're bringing really bright people in here.
That's awesome.
Have that young desire and the fire.
Yeah.
You know, even know how to. I mean, I don't even know how to use TikTok, man. But but I have a amazing person that does it within a few seconds, and creates very awesome content.
Of course. And the cool thing about that is just you and I are practitioners, right? But sometimes as you get, you know, a little bit higher in business, right, you just hire other experts to do it for you, right? And that's not a bad thing, right? If you have the capital to do it. I think it's important for people like us also to know how to kind of use your product, possibly if we have to do it ourselves. But, you know, Alfonso, how important do you think it is to have a team? Like, you know, how many employees do you have?
We currently have 19.
19 employees. You got 19 people on payroll. That's incredible, man. Yeah. So you're in charge of 19 people. You're managing 19 people. Mm-hmm. Specifically in your marketing team, brother. I know you got a partner here next to you. Like, what is that? What is that conversation like? How do you guys view marketing? Are you guys going hard on TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube? Like, what is that like for you? What is the vision?
So, I mean, we meet every week. Sure. We have a team of 5. We meet every week. And I mean, during that meeting, we talk about, okay, what is it that we did last week? What is it that we focused on this week? And at the same time, we also review like numbers, right? Because I mean, we focus heavily on the online sales.
Of course.
Right? But during that time is where we share the ideas of like, you know, things that we either saw, you know, something that could be in trending on our social media. And we think about how can we, you know, implement this and incorporate it into their salon. But I mean, I tell you, like the people that we have on board, they're just very creative. Like,
love it.
Alyssa right here next to me, and
sure,
coming in. I can tell you, like, she's actually the one that created her TikTok. But
that's awesome.
For us, I've been wanting to create a TikTok for a long time, but just knowing even how to use TikTok.
Totally.
And having somebody come in and create it within a day and being able to grow it, you know, very quickly is just amazing. It's super important to be able to trust others, you know, others that are, you know, that know what they're doing, you know, with social media. So,
you know, in regards to, you know, you got your team, right? You got like, how much time do you prioritize TikTok or Instagram or Facebook? Like, what's the allocated amount of time that you guys, you know, choose for those platforms?
I would say we're probably most of our time goes to Instagram and TikTok. And I think it's based on where we get the engagement from. You know, we used to post a lot on Facebook, but tell you, like, we didn't get a lot of engagement. So I think after because of the limited resources, like in the time from the team or even me, we like, okay, we're getting more engagement on Instagram, so let's just put all my time on Instagram. And that's really how we base it. It's more like, where are we getting the engagement from, or what's growing, or what is it that we need to test? So we currently focusing heavily on TikTok because we know like it's growing. I mean, it's been growing super fast since the pandemic. And we've been doing pretty well, you know, with that. With the engagement and just Instagram. Instagram has been a good platform for us as well.
I love it, brother. That's awesome. So you got your team of 5 and you got your employees that work at your salon, brother. What's next for the Color Bar? I know you guys are really focused on online business. Vision wise, you know, what are you thinking about? Are you thinking about expanding? Like, are you thinking about hiring more employees?
Yeah.
What are you thinking about?
Definitely hiring more employees. We actually want to grow the team, but as you know, it's been a little challenging, finding people for businesses right now. But for us, our next step for the salon is to buy a building. We actually want to buy a building, a commercial building where we can, combine both teams.
Love it.
It has to be around, maybe around 3,000 square feet.
Sure. Owning your own real estate, man. That's cool.
Yeah. So that will be our next step for the salon, so that we can have a nice salon space there and combine the creative team. For the creative team, we want to continue to grow our online business.
Sure.
I don't know if you're familiar, but we actually launched another brand. It's called Love Your Hair. We actually launched another brand last month, and the goal with that is to be able to service our client better by offering more product than what we currently offer.
Love it.
Right. And we're going to add more features, more benefits to Love Your Hair.
Sure.
But yeah, we're very excited about that. And it's going to be a nationwide thing. So we're shipping product nationwide. So, I mean, the potential for that, it's bigger for sure than, servicing our customers here locally.
Sure. That's incredible, brother. Alfonso, as we wrap up here, guys, episode 18 of the Black Box Podcast. I got Alfonso here, CEO and owner of the Color Bar. Alfonso, what are some traits that you think entrepreneurs need now in 2021 going into 2022? What are some traits you think entrepreneurs need to be successful?
First is believe in yourself. If you really want to accomplish something big, something that even, that people tell you that it may not be done, I think believing in yourself is the first step to
100%.
accomplishing anything. Then, it's getting started, right? I think we get so caught up with no, I have to learn this before I do anything. Sometimes the best way to learn is actually to do it yourself.
Go on, execute. Go on, take action.
Yeah. And then the other thing will be, it requires a lot of hard work, man. I think sometimes I get surprised how, people want to accomplish with things without actually putting in the work.
100%.
It's so much work. It's so hard to be an entrepreneur.
So hard, man.
And then I think the other thing will be to just be patient.
Of course.
I think even now it's even more important to be patient because we're so used to the social media and getting that, quick results.
Of course.
Online that we forget about, how long good things take. So being patient is another thing.
100%. That's awesome, brother. I appreciate you, man. Alfonso, what are some of your favorite spots to go to in Sacramento, man? You like to drink, you like to binge, or you like to, go out to eat? Maybe you got a favorite bar. Maybe you got a favorite, just a favorite place to go to in Sacramento, or some of the local businesses.
Man, I think what I love about this spot is that we have Cantina Alley right next door.
Love it. Yeah.
So it's so easy. It's so cool that we can just literally walk out of the building and
100%.
a few steps we're going to Cantina Alley. So
hell yeah.
Good spot to have a few drinks,
Love it.
To eat. I actually enjoy Moss Taco.
Cool.
They have some really cool tacos. So
right there on our street. Yeah.
Yeah, our street.
Love it.
So, but yeah, those are two of my go-to spots lately.
Love it, Alfonso. That's awesome, brother. Episode 18, guys, of the Black Box Podcast. I got to interview my good friend, someone that I served with on the Sacramento State Latino Alumni Board chapter. I was a scholarship chair. Alfonso was the president, owner of the Color Bar. Him and his wife, Lorena, own the Color Bar. Alfonso, brother, any last words for entrepreneurs, people that are watching? What do you got to say, brother?
No, thank you. Thank you for having me. And, if anybody would like to reach out, please reach out to me at alfonso.ceo on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'll be happy to answer any more questions, provide any guidance. Being an entrepreneur is about having a dream and believing in that dream. So it's important to ask for help. So please, if you need help or have any questions, I'm here for it. So.
Love it. You guys heard him, guys. You guys heard him. Check him out, alfonso.ceo. Check him out, _ the Color Bar. 19 employees, 7-figure salon business. Man, this guy's doing it. So check him out. He's a great resource. I'm sure he'd love to help. Alfonso, thank you so much for being on the show, brother. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Wishing you and your family and your team members and your business much success.
Awesome, man. Thank you. Likewise.
You already know it.